Are you thinking of moving to the city of Chesapeake, Virginia, but realized, in all honesty, you know nothing about the city? Well, great news. In today's video, I'm gonna take you on a full tour all around the city and give you my knowledge of living here for over 25 years. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so we're in Google Maps. This city you see here with the red and white outline, that would be the city of Chesapeake. This whole area here is what you call Hampton Roads. You have the south side, and then you have the peninsula. In the peninsula, you have Newport News and the city of Hampton. As far as cities go, in the southern part of Hampton Roads, to the east of Chesapeake, you have Virginia Beach. Due north, you have the city of Norfolk, and then also this little spot here isn't really highlighted, but that's the city of Portsmouth. And then over on the west of Chesapeake, you have the city of Suffolk. City of Suffolk is actually the largest city by landmass in all of Virginia. And then this line right here, you see, yep, that would be North Carolina. So you can get down into Moyock and then also down into Elizabeth City through Chesapeake. So let's zoom in here. Apologize that this is a little clunky. I'm going to start up top here in the Western Branch area. As you can see here, it's in the northwest corridor. In this video, we're going to review schools, points of interest. So I'm going to start off real quick with a school system here in the Western Branch area. As the name suggests, that would be Western Branch High School. You also have the middle school and then the primary school. One thing I like to show in these videos is kind of overall rankings of these schools. We're not going to use my opinion because I'm not going to try and steer you in any way. We're going to use a website called niche.com, and overall grade for Western Branch High School, niche.com actually gives it an overall grade of an A-, so not too bad. Zooming out here though, if I move more to the west, right here you have Bruce Road. You also have Taylor Road that runs along here. All in this area, there's not much new construction being built in the Western Branch area right now. But as far as ages of homes, you do have homes that were built in the 70s and 80s. Also, however, though, there is a lot of single family homes, especially out by Western Branch, right down here around Tyree Neck Road and Bruce Road, that were built in the early 2000s. Some really nice neighborhoods if you've seen any of my other previous videos. But as far as new construction, if you keep going west into the city of Suffolk along Pewsville Road, I've done a previous video on the neighborhood of River Club. That is a nice new construction area, a lot of single family homes being built out there. But we're focusing on this video in the city of Chesapeake, so let's head back here in Western Branch. This interstate you see here is Interstate 664. That is a major interstate throughout Hampton Roads. It connects to 64 and 264. If you keep going north on 664, you are going to run into the Monitor Merrimack Bridge, which crosses over the Chesapeake Bay and James River. They kind of converge right there at the Monitor Merrimack Bridge, and that brings you into Newport News and Hampton. You also have this Route 17, and if you stay on that, it goes into the city of Portsmouth and actually comes out right near the downtown tunnel, which connects Portsmouth and Norfolk. So let me zoom in here just to kind of show you one of the major areas of Western Branch. That would be the Pewsville and Taylor Road intersection. If you enjoy bowling, there is a bowling alley. It's now called Bolero Western Branch. Also, right across the street, as you can see here, the Retreat at Western Branch. This is a 55 and plus community that started being built in the 2010 to 2015 range. You also have a YMCA, but I'm not going to call out everything. I just kind of want to show you the major points throughout the city. And one of the major areas in Chesapeake is in Western Branch is Portsmouth Boulevard. We were just up in this area along Taylor Road. If you come south on 664, you have Portsmouth Boulevard. As far as new construction goes in the Western Branch area, all around here is a lot of new construction. I've previously done videos on this area here. You have Jolliffe Landing. Right now, houses in here are being built, single family homes that is, around 499 and up. As you can see, you're right along here, 664. So if you're working at one of the military bases, you have quick access to the highway system. This line here, this is the city of Suffolk. And then also, you can see right here, there is an Amazon facility out here. They are building a lot of different warehouses throughout here. So this is becoming a pretty up and coming area, not only from the industrial aspect, but also some new construction. Right in this general area here, you also have the Grove. And those are some pretty reasonable priced new construction homes. They are townhouses, but they are starting off around $369 and up. And for new construction in the city of Chesapeake, that is a pretty good price when it goes to that. So let's keep moving a little east here. Like I mentioned, this is all Portsmouth Boulevard. This area here you see is Chesapeake Square Mall. Quite honestly, this mall is nothing like it used to be. It still has some anchor stores, but not many left. That building there is actually a Target. Right across the street there, you have the Walmart Super Center. And this building right here is actually a Sam's Club. But I will tell you why there is a lot of shops here. You've got Best Buy. You have a BJ's Wholesale Club over here. This mall itself is nothing like it used to be, but outside of the mall, you do have some major shopping areas. There is an Outback Steakhouse in this area here. So that's pretty much, as far as Western Branch goes, that's where a lot of the activity is going to be had. If we keep moving south, I mentioned 664. This big intersection here actually connects Route 58. This whole area here is called the Bowers Hill area. If you keep going out on 58 here, there's actually a small airport here, the Hampton Roads Executive Airport. There is no commercial airline traffic there. That is just a small jets and planes. But if you stayed on 58, that runs into the city of Suffolk. And really, if you keep on 58, it eventually runs into 95 in the western part of the state of Virginia. And we're starting to move a little more towards the Deep Creek area. Let me zoom out here. And again, I apologize if this is a little clunky because this is a little hard to do.
Seems very clunky.
But you can faintly see, as stuff pops up here, the red and white outline. All this area here is Portsmouth, Virginia. One big thing that is new to the city of Portsmouth, has been there about 2 years, is right here, the Rivers Casino. That is actually the only casino we have in our area currently. There is going to be one built in the city of Norfolk near Harbor Park, but that's not slated to be open for another 2 or 3 years. Okay, so moving along here, this whole area, it's kind of wide open here. This is the Deep Creek area. Now 664 eventually turns into either 264. 264, as you can see on the map here, leads into the city of Portsmouth, and if you stay on 264 here, you're eventually going to run into the downtown tunnel, which would lead you into the city of Norfolk. One thing I will tell you about the downtown tunnel, it is a toll tunnel. So if you are living out here and working in the city of Norfolk or Virginia Beach, that is not the only way to get there, as you can go down 64 here, but the fastest way to get to the city of Norfolk certainly is 264, so just know you are going to pay a toll. But 664 also turns into 64, and that runs into eventually into the city of Virginia Beach and actually around through Norfolk. Additionally, on 64, something that's new, we do have our Easy Pass HOV lanes. So if you have 2 people or more, you're welcome to travel on those lanes for free. However, if it's just you by yourself and you'd like to pay an extra toll, depending on how the traffic is, you can also pay a toll to get into those Easy Pass lanes to avoid some of that traffic. I will tell you the cost of those tolls is based on the time of day. So as you can imagine, rush hour in the morning and in afternoon, you are going to pay a little more. So let me back out here. So I mentioned this whole area here, we're talking about Deep Creek. And if I zoom in around Yadkin here, as far as schools go, right here, we have Deep Creek High School along Route 17. And as far as grades again go, I'm using niche.com. The school was given an overall grade of a B. Now, if I zoom out here, this is Route 17, which if you keep going south on Route 17, that would bring you into Elizabeth City. We'll get into that a little bit here in a second. As far as new construction in Deep Creek, really there is hardly any new construction whatsoever. However, out in this area over here along Shell Road, there is a small neighborhood being built. That neighborhood is called Shell Place. Those are single family homes going for starting around 570 and up. But as far as around this area here of Deep Creek, quite honestly, not a lot of new construction. You have Cavalier Boulevard, Camelot. All of these homes were mostly built in the late 70s, early 80s. So this is a pretty well-developed area. I will tell you, if you move south here on Business 17, This area here is called Culpeper Landing. A lot of new neighborhoods here. You have some townhomes on this side, or actually these are the condos here. The townhomes are right up there. This is a newer neighborhood. As you can see, there's the pool where the clubhouse is. This was built in the 2010 range, give or take 10 to 15 years ago. A lot of single family homes here, a lot of different styles of living. This neighborhood here was a big new construction development many years ago. Backing out here, this waterway here you see is the historic Dismal Canal. But let me continue. One thing I want to show you when I talk about Deep Creek, it's kind of unfair to say Deep Creek because it's not all a part of Deep Creek, but I wanted to mention it. If you keep going on 64 towards Virginia Beach, this bridge here, if you've seen any of my previous videos, this bridge here is called the High Rise Bridge. This is one of the choke points in Hampton Roads as far as traffic goes. But let me move south here. One area of new development would be the Bryan's Cove area. They're building a lot of houses back here, right along the water of the Elizabeth River. These houses are single family. Let me see if I can zoom in here. We don't have a lot of 3-story buildings in Hampton Roads. These were built within the last 5 to 10 years. So when you're looking for some decent priced homes in the city of Chesapeake, that would be an area here. And as far as school zones, we've actually kind of got out of the Deep Creek area. Let me back up here. We're heading down south. This whole area, to include Bryan's Cove, is actually the Grassfield area. And as you can see here, Grassfield High School is right along Dominion Boulevard, which is actually Route 17, which I mentioned earlier. This is actually one of the newest high schools in Chesapeake. That would be Grassfield High School. It was given an overall grade of an A, according to niche.com. And a few things I want to call out here in the Grassfield area. There is a lot of new construction being built out here. Farther down, you go down Dominion Boulevard south, heading into North Carolina. It's a much more rural area out here. They are planning an industrial park out here in the next 2 or 3 years. So you might want to do some research on that. If you have any questions on that, please reach out to me because I've been in this area for over 25 years and I know a lot about the area. Can't go over everything during this video, so please reach out to me. I also wanted to call out a recreation area, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, I've mentioned this before. But that would be the Great Dismal Park, and it's actually, they do have a trail. Parking is right here. Let me zoom in here so we can see if I can zoom in here. Doesn't look like there's any areas to zoom in, so I'm not going to be able to zoom in here too much further. Oh, there we go. Let's take a look here, turn around. Sorry, I'm moving myself here. I apologize again if this is a little clunky. Let's see if we can move up here. Keep moving here. This is the parking for the Dismal Park here. And if we keep moving, the canal trail starts right along here, and it's a 7-mile biking and walking trail. You do have the Dismal Canal right along here, but you know you've made it. If it'll let me come up here, I don't think it will because that's blocking it. There is a little statue of a bear. That's where it starts, and if you just keep going down that way, I mentioned it's a 7-mile trail. Let me zoom out here, get myself all turned around. Again, I apologize if I'm making you dizzy. Let's get back in here. So anyways, as I mentioned, Route 17, a very rural area right now. The whole Grassfield area, up in the northern part of Grassfield, a lot of developments have been built. You do have a Walmart. There is going to be a Publix built on Cedar Road near Dominion Boulevard. That is slated to be completed at the end of this year. But overall, there's 2 areas in Chesapeake where there's still rural areas to be had, and that would be Grassfield and Hickory. And we'll go over Hickory in a little bit. So we're going to keep moving here. As we're moving along, one thing I wanted to call out on Route 17, another bridge. This is a toll bridge. This is the Veterans Bridge. It connects southern Chesapeake, the Grassfield area, into Norfolk. It eventually connects into the Great Bridge Bypass and Interstate 64. But if you travel this, just know that is a toll bridge that you are going to be paying with an Easy Pass. You can go down, if you happen to live in this area and wanted to get on 64, you could go Moses Grandy and onto 64 through the Business 17. However, this bridge right here is a lot of construction currently being done on the Deep Creek Bridge. It's a very small drawbridge. If you've watched any of my previous videos, Chesapeake has quite a few drawbridges. This is the first one we're going to talk about here on along Route 17. But there's a lot of traffic here too. So just know if you're not willing to pay the toll and you want to take Moses Grande, that is certainly an option to get to 64. But you are going to be dealing with a lot of traffic, especially right now as they're dealing with new construction. So as we're getting, this is Cedar Road. Cedar Road coming from the Deep Creek and Grassfield area. We're heading more into the Great Bridge area. And Great Bridge along Cedar Road is actually where all of City Hall and the court systems are located right here along City Hall. Most of these homes here are single family homes. There are some townhomes along here on Cedar Lakes area. You also have some townhomes in the Mill Landing area across from the Walmart neighborhood market. And I can tell you this is a pretty old image from Google Maps, because this neighborhood market has actually been here at least 5 years. So it's kind of interesting that they still have this old image here. But anyways, so this whole area here is Great Bridge. The majority of homes built in Great Bridge that are not new construction, the majority of these homes were built in the late 70s to early 80s. You'll notice most of these homes are very similar in appearance. And actually, let me zoom in kind of to show you. You'll hear the term Great Bridge Special. As we go over here, these are a lot of different Great Bridge specials here. Single family homes, usually 3 bedrooms. Most of these were built in the early 70s to mid 80s, but the majority of them do look very similar in appearance. We're actually on Old Drive here, and this is what you would call Great Bridge Specials. They're very similar in style throughout Great Bridge, mostly brick ranch homes. So let me back out here. Anyways, as far as Great Bridge, this is a pretty desirable area, even though there is older homes. But it is still a desirable area. The Great Bridge High School is actually a little farther south down here. Actually, I believe it's right there. It is right here is Great Bridge High School. As far as grades are concerned for Great Bridge High School, it was given an overall grade of a B+. But as far as new construction, there is a little bit of new construction still being had in Great Bridge. Let me back up here to kind of give you an idea of where we are. So there is City Hall right there along Cedar Road. This main road here is Battlefield Boulevard. And let me zoom in real quick. One of the drawbridges I talked about. This is downtown Great Bridge. A lot of activities happen in Great Bridge. During the Christmas time, we have our Christmas parade that runs through Battlefield Boulevard into the City Hall area. This is one of the more historic areas in Chesapeake. Actually, along this bridge here, this is the Great Bridge Bridge, as I guess it would be called. It is a drawbridge. Traffic-wise, this can get a little tricky. During the summertime, this bridge mostly opens every 30 minutes during the summertime, and it always opens for commercial traffic. Anywhere in Chesapeake, you're going to be dealing with drawbridges. We already talked about the one in Deep Creek, and you also have 2 more in the Hickory area. But anyways, let's get back into new construction. That's what we were talking about. I'm sorry. Johnstown Road. We're moving south here. So you saw where we're along Battlefield Boulevard. This whole area out here, and it's not even actually showing up on this current Google Maps. Some new neighborhoods being out right here. You do have Stony Creek. Those are single family homes along Johnstown. They are starting off around 630 and up. And then if I come over here, zoom in here. So this interstate here is 168. That is the Great Bridge bypass. It's actually called the Chesapeake Expressway. It goes into the city of Moyock into North Carolina, but it eventually up here connects into 64. I call it the Great Bridge bypass. It is called the Chesapeake Expressway. Like I said, I've lived here for over 25 years. So a lot of things I call based on what they used to be named, because before it used to not connect. It actually stopped right there at Battlefield Boulevard, and that's when it was called the Great Bridge Bypass. Once they built the connection to 64, the name changed to the Chesapeake Expressway. So mentioned, give me an idea where we are here. Nope. Great Bridge High School, some other new construction along Battlefield right in this area here. They are building some 3-story townhomes. That would be Legacy 168, as the name suggests, very near Route 168. And those are starting off around $479,000 and up. And before I head south, but I wanted to pop up here for a second. Another area along Great Bridge. I already came over here to the bridge itself, but if you go up here, Chesapeake Regional Medical Center is right here. This is the major hospital in Chesapeake. That is along Battlefield Boulevard. This is the Chesapeake Expressway. Also, if you are looking for a church, this church here, River Oak Church, is one of the larger churches in Hampton Roads. Well, not really Hampton Roads, larger churches in Chesapeake. This is a Baptist church. One thing you'll notice about living in Hampton Roads is there's plenty of churches around, plenty of great options, but I can speak from experience here. River Oak is a great church if you're looking for activities for your kids or just looking for a place where you're going to feel welcomed. I just wanted to call that out. This is Great Bridge Boulevard, and actually if we keep going down Great Bridge Boulevard, let me zoom out real quick here. This area along here is all Oscar Smith High School, and Oscar Smith High School, it's kind of interesting, it's along Great Bridge Boulevard. This is Oscar Smith High School. Actually, really good football team, won state championship many times, but as far as overall grades, looking at my notes here, it was given an overall grade of a B+. So again, do your research. Niche.com has a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of different reports that you can take a look at. If you do have any questions, please reach out. But if you're getting any value out of this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe. I publish videos like this every week. I usually try and get them out every Saturday morning. And as always, if you got any questions, please reach out. So let's continue to go south. There's Johnstown Road. I mentioned the new construction. Stonegate across the street there. That was a big development right here that was built in the early 90s. Many houses built there. But as we move south, popular area, gonna get here, Etheridge Manor Boulevard and the bypass. You do have a Harris Teeter shopping center. This is a pretty popular grocery store here, as most of Great Bridge and Hickory converge in this area to shop here. But this whole area here, as I zoom out, all over here is Hickory. Most likely, if you've read anything on Chesapeake, you've probably heard the name Hickory. Mostly rural, farther south you go, but Hickory has built up a ton. These houses in the front here where you have Fentress and Albemarle Acres, those are all similar to kind of what I was speaking towards earlier. Great Bridge special homes that were built in the 70s and 80s. Along Battlefield Boulevard, these fields right here, they're not really empty anymore. Zoom in here, right along this area here, you have a lot of new construction. This area is called Woodford Estates. Those are some really nice houses. The development is actually being built within the last less than 2 or 3 years. They still have some homes being built, 725 and up. One thing I will tell you about Hickory and Grassfield, both the prices of houses are one of the higher from the area of Chesapeake that you're looking for. If you are looking into getting into Grassfield or Hickory, just know you are going to pay a little more. Keep going south here, another area in Hickory, a big shopping area that would be the Edinburgh area. This right here is a Target. You also have, man, this is an old map here. Very interesting here that they have Crackle Barrel, but not Walmart, which was there first. There's a Walmart right here as well. I'm really not too sure why that's not being shown, because Walmart was built before the Crackle Barrel. But anyways, there is a Walmart right here. Like I mentioned, you have a Target. Additionally, right out here, this is kind of interesting how old this map is. There is a movie theater called Cinema Cafe. Definitely want to hit there. Awesome place to go watch a movie. Not only can you catch a movie, but it is a kind of a restaurant, so they serve you at your seats. Obviously you can get popcorn, but you also can get regular restaurant food too. You also have some new construction The name right here, Hickory Homes at Hickory Manor. If you've seen any of my previous videos, I have done some in-depth videos on Hickory Manor. There is still homes being built at Hickory Manor, single-family homes for $627,000 and up. Zoom out here. I wanted to tell you about another neighborhood so let me back up real quick here. So this is 168. That is the Chesapeake Expressway, but Battlefield Boulevard pretty much runs parallel to 168 until they both connect here. And then actually out in this area here along Sanderson Road, if you're still looking for new construction, but also rural area, take a look at these pictures I did here. I put the drone up in the air. I've done previous videos on this, but they are still building a lot of houses out there. The thing I like about it is most of them are on 1 acre to 3 acre lots. And as far as pricing goes, Sanderson Estates, there is houses being built for $699,000 and up. I've been mentioning recreation. I'm trying to do this as quick as possible. Another area out here. Let me give an idea of where I'm at. All right, Indian Creek. So Battlefield Boulevard, you go on Indian Creek, come down here. Right around here, you have Northwest River Park. If you enjoy fishing or just getting out on the walking trails, these roads here are actually walking trails. It eventually cuts into the Northwest River. You can rent a canoe. This area is actually stocked with trout during the fall time. If you have horses, there is horse rinks here. There's playground. It is a campground as well. So pretty neat spot there. One thing I do like about Chesapeake, especially in the Hickory and Grassfield area, is there's a lot of things to do outside. So as you can see here, we're kind of getting into North Carolina. Hickory is pretty much as far south in Hampton Roads as you can go. One thing I did fail to mention that I need to, if you live in Hickory or anywhere in Chesapeake, this 168 is one of the major thoroughfares to get to the Outer Banks, especially during the summertime, on the weekends, Friday and Saturday especially. This highway does get crowded. It's not horrible, but 168 is only a 4-lane highway, and during the summertime when most of those people are coming and going, New Jersey, New York, Maryland traffic, people in Virginia, to get to the Outer Banks, they're going down 168. So just know, especially in the summertime, you are going to deal with some traffic. And I mentioned Battlefield Boulevard runs right along it, but those Outer Bank traffic, they figured that out too. So they get on Battlefield Boulevard as well. I don't even think I've mentioned the schools. So Hickory High School is right here. We already talked about the Edinburgh area. That's about a mile away from the Edinburgh area. Niche.com gave Hickory High School an overall grade of an A-. So another good graded school within Chesapeake. Another major road in Hickory would be Centerville Turnpike. They eventually come to a connection right here around Hickory High School. But if I keep going keep going north on Centerville Turnpike, I previously shortly mentioned Etheridge Manor. Most of the houses around Etheridge Manor, while there is no new construction, these are newer homes, mostly built in the early 2000s. There are some that were built in the late 90s, but newer houses out there. But if I keep going down Centerville Turnpike, I am going to eventually run into another drawbridge. That would be the Centerville Turnpike Bridge. And I'm going to zoom in here. This is another one. During the summertime, it's going to go off on the half hour. And just know when it does go off, you're usually going to be sitting there for about 10 minutes and the roads will back up a little bit. It's just part of living in Chesapeake, especially in Hickory or Great Bridge. You are going to deal with drawbridges throughout the city. And before we get out of Chesapeake, I want to come over here. This little landing strip right here is actually a practice facility the military uses called Fentress Airfield. It is literally one where they just do touch and goes. They don't even land there. But I've mentioned it in previous videos. If you are looking to live in anywhere in Chesapeake or Virginia Beach, you need to know about the jet noise and potential crash zones depending on where you live. Because I will tell you, if I zoom out here, all this area here of Etheridge Manor, a lot of this area here is in the noise zone just because of that Fentress Airfield. So take a look at the AQs map. And if you have any questions about it, please reach out. This is the kind of information I provide. But if you don't reach out to me, just make sure you search on the internet AQ's maps before you decide where to live. As I mentioned in previous videos, I love the sound of jet noise. I think it's the sound of freedom, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want to live right underneath it. All right, so I digress. Let's keep moving north here. As I said, this is Centerville Turnpike. Real quick, I did mention that there is 2 drawbridges in Hickory, and that other one is a little west here, farthest to the west. This is all Virginia Beach here. Right along the line here, you have the Mount Pleasant North Landing Bridge. This is Mount Pleasant Road. This is another drawbridge all along the North Landing River, which eventually goes into Great Bridge. It's very similar, goes up and down on the half hour during the summertime when it's a little more crowded. And then commercial traffic, it will go off at any time. So let's keep moving. As we head north, this whole area here is the Greenbrier area. And as we even move further north, you're into the Indian River area. But real quick, as far as new construction goes, right out here, I've done a previous video. Actually, it just lit up here. This is Centerville Turnpike, Elbow Road. Elbow Road, if you keep going east, will eventually run into Virginia Beach. I've done a previous video all about the Haven at Centerville. This is being built by Chesapeake Homes. They are still building properties out there. And actually, let me see what the current price is. I've got it in my notes here. I apologize, I'm looking. 670 and plus. But again, take a look at this video I did here where I go all inside the home so you can take a look at it. And if you have any questions, you know what to do. Please reach out to me. Also, if you are getting any value out of this, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Another new neighborhood. Out here at Bus Station, I'm kind of disappointed on this maps because it is very delayed here. But there's new neighborhoods all throughout here. And when I say new, some of them are 5 years old. So I feel like they should be showing up here. But over in this area here, I'm not even going to show up, I don't think. But it's might be over here. You do have Cedar Glen. Those are townhouses along Butts Station, starting off around $450,000. Let me back up a little bit here. So we had Centerville Turnpike. There is the Great Bridge bypass there. So we're heading along Butts Station Road, and Butts Station, once you get over Kempsville Road is this road here. Kempsville Road eventually heads, as you can see, into Virginia Beach. Once Butts Station crosses over Kempsville Road, this turns into Greenbrier Parkway. And the thing about Greenbrier Parkway, Greenbrier area, a lot of shopping to be had up in this northern part. However, there is a lot of apartments, a lot of condos, a lot of townhouses and single family homes, very diverse area. And as far as pricing goes, much easier prices compared to Hickory or Grassfield. They are a little older homes, but there are some deals to be found in the Greenbrier area. But again, activities-wise, Chesapeake City Park is right here along Greenbrier Parkway. Make sure you hit in May time. There is the Chesapeake Jubilee. It's not a state fair, but it is kind of like a city fair. They have some great performances, musical performances. They have an awesome fireworks show on that Friday night. So make sure you head there. Also, it's showing up on the map. I wouldn't normally mention it, but if you do live in the city of Chesapeake, we have trash collection that comes to your house. But if you have bulk items, this is where you're going to take it to the transfer station. They're open select days for city of residents. So just take a look at that, do some research. But let's keep moving along Greenbrier Parkway. Here's a condominium, St. Andrews condos. Those were built in the early 80s. If I keep going on Greenbrier Parkway, talking again about shopping centers, as you can see, pretty large shopping center here. You do have Target. This little area here is Greenbrier Mall, similar to Chesapeake Square Mall. I'm kind of disappointed to even mention it because it is a shell of what it used to be. I've done previous videos on that. You also have hotels. If you have any families coming to the town, this most likely is where they're going to stay. If you live in Chesapeake, plenty of hotels. And if I back up here, as you can see, we're along 64. And one of the larger employers in our area, their actually headquarters is in Dollar Tree. They are corporate headquarters in the city of Chesapeake. This area along here, they've recently redone the Dollar Tree headquarters and actually built it up. And they do have some pretty nice, actually it's interesting what is updated and what isn't, because these are brand new, only been here about 2 years, but it's funny how they show them. Different condos and townhomes and apartments throughout here, and it's definitely an up and coming area. They have a Wasserhound brewery here, steak restaurant, Cork and Bull. So a lot of activities going on here. Good little area. And I mentioned Greenbrier area. There's some good restaurants to be had in this area as well. But as I'm going along here, I wanted to end this up along Indian River area. We go across 64. And this area here is all of Indian River. Indian River, mostly homes built in the 70s and 80s. Not a whole lot of new construction being had out here. However, again, similar to Greenbrier, as far as pricing goes, you usually can find some really good deals out here in the Indian River area. And as far as schools go, so this is Greenbrier Parkway. If I zoom in, Indian River High School is this right here. Let's zoom in there. That's Indian River High School. Softball and baseball fields right here. Indian River High School was given an overall grade. Where did I write it? An overall grade of a B. Single family homes out here. Let me zoom in on just one of these neighborhoods here to give you an idea of what we're looking at here. Mostly houses like the Great Bridge Specials. It's always interesting when I see houses that are zoomed out. I always find that interesting. Anyways, a lot of single family homes out here, built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I tried to do this as quick as possible. I hope you got some value. If you did, please do me a favor, hit that like button. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And if you're wondering if Chesapeake's right for you, take a look at this video I did right here as I go over some of the pros and cons of living in the city. And until the next time, I hope you have a great day, and we will see you on the next video.